Welcome to the Rise of the Trades podcast, the show dedicated to helping you to build, grow, and scale your trades or construction business. All rise for your host, Craig Wilkinson.
Welcome to episode number 1 of the Rise of the Trades podcast. I would like to start off by saying a massive thank you for your interest in our podcast and what you will discover to become the most valuable and unique podcast that we guarantee will help you to grow and scale your trades and construction business. My name's Craig Wilkinson. I'm a carpenter and joiner by trade that's built, grown and sold one of Yorkshire's most profitable and successful domestic building companies. And since 2012, I've been coaching other trades and construction business owners how to build, grow and even sell their own businesses. Now, so you can get the most value from this introduction episode, I'm going to be dissecting this episode into 2 sections. Section number 1 is where I'm going to be sharing why I've set up this podcast in the first place. What's the purpose? What's the goal of this podcast? Who is this podcast for? And who is it aimed at? And what will you learn by giving up your valuable time and investing it into me on these weekly episodes? I'm going to share with you what results and what you're going to learn by tuning in. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to transition over to session number 2. And session number 2 is going to be around my background story. You see, I believe that it's important that if you're going to be investing your time into the knowledge that I'm going to be sharing with you, we first of all must build a relationship first. And the only way I'm going to be able to build that relationship and that trust and that credibility with you is by you understanding my background story. And where I started off as a self-employed, humble joiner that soon became overworked, stressed out, skint, and a busy fool that made all the classic mistakes that I'm sure many of you are making right now. And how I hit rock bottom. But I'm also going to share with you the strategies that I used to transform my business and my life to a point where I sold my business, setting me and my family up financially for the rest of our lives. And then how I've now moved on to become the UK's number 1 trades and construction marketing and business coach within the UK. Now, let's start off with answering some of the questions that you might be thinking about why I've set this podcast up in the first place. You know, what's the purpose? What's the goal of the podcast? Well, for me, it's very, very simple. I believe that no business owner should have to go through the challenges and the pain and the mistakes that I've made over my 31 years of being in business and end up where I used to be, which is a busy fool. Working ridiculous hours, 80, 90 hours a week for over 13 years. Having cash flow problems, spending money on marketing that didn't work, employing the wrong employees and subcontractors that just used to cause me headache and grief. I don't believe that anybody should have to go through those classic mistakes. And they are classic mistakes because having coached over 20 to 30,000 business owners, I see the mistakes that I were making 30 years ago in the people that are running their businesses today. And there's absolutely no need for people to make these mistakes and even hit rock bottom like I did. So the purpose and the goal of this podcast is for me to give away, and I mean that, I'm going to give away for free all the knowledge that's taken me from that busy full joiner to winning awards like Yorkshire's Businessman of the Year, to selling my business, and to helping other business owners to do the exact same. And the only thing, the three things that you are lacking are the following. Number one is the knowledge itself on the strategies and tools and techniques on how to build and grow a proper business rather than winging it and making it up like you are doing. And if people are honest, you're probably winging it. Number two, motivation. Because if we've got the right motivation, we will then take action on the knowledge that we're going to learn. Number three, the right mindset. Having a growth mindset, not having one of these negative mindsets that traditionally comes with the trades and construction industry. You know what I'm talking about, the fuck it attitude, right? None of that. We've got to change our mindset. We've got to approach our business in a completely different way. We've got to learn new knowledge, but we've got to be motivated to be able to take action on that knowledge. And through this podcast, I promise you that I'm going to bring all three of that ingredients into this podcast so you can learn the knowledge. Let's get fired up and motivated, and let's have the right mindset to be able to go away and implement the strategies and plans that I'm going to share with you. Because I don't want you to have to go through what I've gone through over 31 long, hard years to get to where I've got to. Now, who is this podcast for and who is it aimed at? Well, it's very simple. It's aimed at you, the trades men and women, electricians, plumbers, heating engineers, joiners, bricklayers, scaffolders, roofers, tilers, plasterers, renderers, all you people that are out there right now running a trades or construction business. This is the podcast for you. Because as a joiner for over 30 years and running a business for 31 years, I fully understand that our industry is quite unique. It's not the same as a web company. It's not the same as an accountant. We are in a completely different, hard-ass, ruthless industry that I understand like the back of my hand. So this podcast and these episodes are designed for you if you are serious about growing and scaling your trades and construction business. Now, what are you going to learn by you investing your time into these weekly episodes? Well, I'm going to give you absolutely everything. Every single piece of strategy that I've learned in areas such as marketing strategy and how are we going to attract our target market in their highest concentration to our business, getting rid of time wasters and tire kickers and vetting them out to leave us with pre-sold, ready to buy customers and clients. So we're going to be looking at the marketing strategy as a whole, social media strategies, website, SEO, landing page strategies, video marketing strategies, lead magnets, pay-per-click, paid advertising, the whole lot we're going to unleash on you. And if we can start to attract our most profitable customers and clients that have been vetted in their highest concentration, then now we are going to start to scale our business. But behind the scenes, it's not just a case of, let's get more leads in. Because if I were to tenfold, which we can do, tenfold the amount of leads coming into your business, you are not going to be able to cope with all those leads. Why? Well, the next part is your cash and finance. Because from a cash flow point of view, we've got to make sure that you become a cash-rich company and you can bankroll your own business without having to borrow money, go into overdrafts, use your VAT money as an overdraft. We've got to make sure that you understand the numbers in your business. So I'm going to be teaching you all about the cash and finance side to building and growing and scaling your business. Things such as understanding how to price jobs correctly in the first place, how much gross profit and gross margin do we need? How much net profit are we going to have to build in? What about our overhead contribution towards the jobs that we're pricing? Do we understand what our break-even figures are? Can we read a balance sheet? Do we use a cash flow forecast to start to scale our business? And the answer to those questions for most business owners are, Craig, I don't know any of that. Don't worry, I'm going to teach it you all. Okay, so now we've got the leads coming in. We know we're making profit on the jobs that we're going to be and the services we're going to be offering, but we still haven't got the right business, because if we now turn the tap on and bring all them leads in, you can't cope with it because you haven't got the right systems and procedures in place within your business. So we're going to look at implementing new systems into your business that will allow you to do your quotes, do your pricing, do your paperwork, do your invoicing, do your books, do your accounts, do everything, all that back end, all that admin stuff that most of us hate, or most of you are staying up till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. You know, you're grafting all day on the tools, and then you come home and evenings and weekends, you're spending time doing your paperwork when you should be spending quality time with your family. I know what it feels like because I did it for 13 long, hard years. So we've got to put the right systems and processes into your business using software, tools, apps, automation to make sure the back end of your business runs like clockwork. We're also going to be drilling down on time management. How can you build and grow a successful, profitable business without having to work 40 hours a week? I want you making the maximum amount of profit for the least amount of time. So you've got a work-life choice on where you spend your time. So we're going to be looking at time management. How can we get your time back? How can we become more productive and more efficient? And we're going to be talking about things like default diaries and time logs and time drains and time bandits, and getting rid of all that to bring your working hours down so you can enjoy the time spending the profit that you're making. Once we looked at that, there's another part of the equation, which is your team, right? Because you cannot build and grow and scale a successful business trying to do it on your own. Because trust me, I've tried it and it nearly killed me. That's what led me to working 90 hours a week and being a prisoner in my own business. You are going to need a team. But here lies the problem. Where do we find skilled labour that's reliable, trustworthy, where you can leave them on a job, they can run the job, order their own materials, and you don't have to babysit grown adults? Because I use this analogy that most people are wearing nappies. Because as business owners, a lot of the times you've got to babysit grown adults on jobs because they haven't got the capabilities or they haven't got the common sense to be able to run jobs. Every 5 minutes they're on the phone to you. What do I do with this? I've run out of this. I've run out of timber. I've run out of blocks. I've run out of plaster, right? What we need to do is we need to build a trustworthy, reliable, good communicating team that can work with you, work with your customers, and run your jobs for you. Now, I know there'll be people listening to this that have employed people or brought subcontractors in, and it's just causing them grief, i.e. the employee or the subcontractor has upset the customer that you've now got to put right. Or they've cocked up on a job and they've done something wrong, which is now going to cost you time and money. And then you end up sacking these people, but then the vicious cycle of how you find and employ your team starts all over again. And you get to a point where you think, do you know what? There is no skilled labour out there. I can't find anyone. I've had bad experiences in the past. Therefore, if I just do it myself, I'll do the job right. But that attitude, as I once had, just leads you to being a prisoner in your business, because you will end up doing everything in your business and working stupid hours. And then we're going to look at things like mindset and personal development, and how mindset and personal development for me is the key to your success. Because think about it, before you can build and grow and scale your business, you've got to build, grow and scale yourself. Because you cannot grow your business with the mindset that you've got now, with the contacts you've got now, with the knowledge you've got now, with the motivation you've got now, with the circle of influence that you are hanging around with now. Most of that is going to have to be improved and changed. And to do that, that's going to take a big mindset shift on how you approach your business and how you approach the growth of your business. And that comes down to your mindset and your personal development. So as you can see, they're just a few of the areas that we are going to be helping you with through this podcast, where we're going to give all of our secrets, all of our strategies away for free. And if you develop the right mindset and you get yourself motivated to take action on the knowledge that we're going to share with you, then for sure you are going to get the results. Now, I started off this introduction by saying you are going to get introduced to a unique podcast. And when I say unique podcast, I'm not just talking about the value and the knowledge that we're going to be giving you for free. I mean, that's priceless in itself. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be mixing up the themes of each episode. And these themes of each episode are going to unfold like this. Number one, there's going to be solo episodes from just me, where I'm just giving you all them strategies, all them plans, all that blueprint on what you need to do. All you need to do is go away and implement what I tell you to do. So there's going to be solo episodes. But number two, we are also going to be bringing in, or I'm going to be bringing in, expert guest speakers. These are people and professionals that have helped me to build and grow and scale my 4 businesses that I currently run. So I'm going to be bringing in guest speakers for you to learn from. Number 3, success stories. You see, for some of you, this might be the first time that you've come into contact with me. You've never been on one of my coaching programs. You've never been to one of my live events. You've never been to any of my online events. You've not really got a relationship with me. So Craig, how can you prove to us that this knowledge that you share is going to help grow my business? And that comes through, number 3, the success stories. You see, I've coached, as I've said, thousands of trades and construction business owners that were all in the same type of positions that I used to be in years ago, where we've made those classic mistakes, but by implementing the strategies that I've taught them, they have now completely transformed their business and transformed their lives and their families' lives by implementing what I share. So I'm going to be bringing on many of our success stories, so you can learn, number 1, what were the mistakes that they were making, because I'm guessing for many of you, you'll be making them same classic mistakes. But then they're going to transition over and share with you exactly what they did to solve the problem that they initially had. And then they're going to be honest and open and transparent, and they're going to share their results and their wins with you. So you can then say, well, hang on a minute, I've got that problem. They implemented this into their business. So if I do that, that equals those type of results. So I don't want you to take it from me that I'm the dog's bollocks and I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to prove it to you by bringing on success stories of the people that I've coached and mentored, and they're going to share with you their success. And number 4, how we're going to mix this up is I'm going to be inviting you, yes, you, our passionate listeners, I'm going to be inviting you onto some live Q&A sessions where you're going to come onto this podcast, be live with me, and you're going to give me the challenges, the problems, the obstacles, the hurdles that you're currently experiencing, and live, I'm going to solve them. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to leave, go away and do to solve that problem and scale your business. So as you can see, when I said a unique podcast, there is nothing out there that's going to give you the value that we're giving you, and mixing it up by bringing those 4 different types of episodes to you. This is going to be a unique podcast, and I want you to be part of this journey. Now, final thing before we transition over to my background story, and that is, if you have chance to sit down and listen to these podcasts, you're going to need a notepad, you're going to need a pen, you're going to need a tablet, you're going to need something to make notes on, because I am going to unleash so much knowledge on you that you're going to have to start making notes. So what I'd like you to start to consider is this being almost like your dedicated weekly coaching, where you're investing time into working on your business rather than working in it. And if you dedicate an hour a week to listen to my podcasts and make the notes and then go away and implement what you learn, you will start to generate more results than you could ever thought possible. So they're the reasons why I've set the podcast up, who it's for, the results and the benefits of you tuning in each week to these episodes. And remember, I believe that nobody should make those classic mistakes. You get the knowledge, you motivate yourself, give yourself a kick up the backside, go and implement what I share, and the results will start to show. So I'm now going to transition over to my background story, where hopefully listening to my background story, you'll identify some of the mistakes that I've made in your business. And then what we can do is we can get to work on solving them. So I want to start off with a little journey about my story, because I believe that when I share my story, some of you may well be sat there going, do you know what, Craig? That is me. Where you were is where I am right now, and I'm sick to death of working my bollocks off 6 days a week to walk away with a wage. I'm paying my subbies more than I'm paying myself. I don't see my wife. I don't see my husband. I don't see my kids. I'm stressed out at max. I just need help. And that's exactly where I were. So let's rewind. I'm a carpenter and joiner by trade, right? Left school at 16. I'm actually 53 years old now. So at the time of recording this podcast, which is in January 2024, I'm 53. 16-year-old, I became an apprentice joiner, bench joiner by trade, manufacturing doors, windows, stairs, conservatories, and all that type of stuff. And at the age of 23 years old, I'd done my 5-year apprenticeship. I was married with 2 young children and even a mortgage round my neck at 23. So I started young. And I believed, having looked at my old boss and my old gaffer, I believed that running a business was an absolute doddle, because I used to look at him coming and going as he pleased into his business, coming in his nice car, he'd got a boat, he'd got a lovely house, and I just presumed that running your own business were an absolute breeze. So what did I do? I had this ridiculous idea to hand my notice in at 23, married, 2 kids, mortgage round my neck. Hand my notice in because I thought I was going to become a millionaire. I also thought that running a business would be easy, because you'd be able to have as much time off work as you wanted and do what you want when you want, because we can all do that, can't we? No, that's not how it works. So I handed my notice in and I set up my business in 1994. Now, as you can imagine, back then, no internet, no social media, none of the digital age that we've got now. So I had to rely on word of mouth, typing letters on a typewriter to send out to architects and builders, going around pushing leaflets through doors, asking family and friends if they needed a joiner, and I really, really struggled. But fast forward 12 years, and I'd gone from that one-man band joiner, his bag of tools and a rusty red transit van. I built, grew and morphed into a large domestic construction company. So now we've got 17 members of staff. We've got beautiful offices. I've got my own car parking space. I've got vans on the road. I'm all over South Yorkshire. I'm number one on Google for everything. I uploaded my first YouTube video back in 2010, so we're dominating YouTube. And all the leads were coming in. And anybody from the outside in used to look at me and go, he's doing all right for himself, that Craig Wilkinson. He's got lovely offices, his own car parking space. He's got all these vans on road. He's got work coming out of his ears. He must be absolutely raking it in. But if truth be told, behind the scenes, being honest, my business is fucking killing me. I mean, killing me. I'm working 90 hours a week. 1 minute I'm on the tools, then I'm back in the office, then I'm surveying jobs, then I'm doing the pricing, then I'm typing quotes, then I'm ordering materials, then I'm employing more staff. I was doing all these things in my business. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul because I didn't have a clue about the numbers in my business. I'm using my VAT money as an overdraft. I'm not seeing my wife. I'm not seeing my kids. I'm stressed out to max. And here's me building a business to take care of me and my family and build a better quality of life for me and my family because that's what I wanted. But ultimately, the business cost me my marriage. You know, here's me working every hour God sends, not paying attention to what's happening at home. And unfortunately, it cost me my marriage. And at that point, I hit rock bottom. And I needed help. But I had no idea where to get this help from. Until one day, I got invited to a networking event that I didn't want to go to. I'd never heard of networking. I didn't need any more mates. I'd already got loads of mates, but I went to this networking event. And at this networking event, I met a guy who was a business coach. And I'm like, what the hell's a business coach? What do you do? He says, well, I help businesses to grow and scale. And I'm thinking, what a load of crap. You're just a suit. You're just a suit trying to take money off people. But I was desperate. I was on my knees. I was skinned. I was working stupid hours. And my marriage had broken down. So I took on this business coach. And he said to me, right, Craig, you're turning over all this money. You've got all this work on. You've got all these staff. You've got all these overheads. Where's your business plan? I'm like, I don't have a business plan. He's like, what? You don't have a business plan? I said, no, I literally wing it. The way in which I run my business is inside my head. I'm just winging it all the time. He says, okay, where's your marketing strategy? I'm like, I don't have one. I just post on social media because Facebook could come out then. I've got a website that's number one on Google. I attract all these leads, but I seem to look at all these jobs, but never win many because everybody says I'm too expensive. He says, so you're attracting time wasters and tire kickers then? Where's your vetting process? I says, I ain't got one. He says, let's have a look at your cash flow forecast then, Craig, and let's have a look what's happening with your money in, money out. Where's it all going? How can you be turning over all this money and be paying your subcontractors more than you're paying yourself? Where's your cash flow forecast? I ain't got one. What, you're running a business this size without a cash flow forecast? Yeah, I'm winging it. Okay, show me the systems that you've got in place in your business. So how are you automating your quotations? Who's doing all your surveys? Who's doing all your books and your accounts? Who's doing all the marketing? Who's writing all the blogs? Who's doing all the editing on all the videos? Who's doing all that? I am. I haven't got a strategy. I'm just winging it. And the reason why I share this and the reason why I'm being honest is because I know for sure that there'll be people listening to this podcast right now that will be in a similar position to me, where you're passionate about your business, you're great at what you do, you can do anything with your hands and the tools, but the business side of it, whoever taught you to build and grow and scale a successful business that's going to take care of you and your family for the next 20 years? Answer, nobody. So what do? We wing it. And we believe that the more work we take on, the more jobs we have running, the more staff we have, the more vans on the road we have, the more profit we make. And that's not true. In fact, it's further from the truth. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a cash flow forecast and understand the numbers in your business, if you don't put the systems in place so you're not having to do all the work yourself at evenings and weekends, if you don't employ the right staff, if you've not got the right mindset and you're not motivated and working on you, you will become what I was, which I call a busy fool. And that's exactly what I've become. I become the ultimate busy fool, where everybody's making money off my hard work and I'm the last one to get paid, and some weeks I couldn't even afford to pay myself because I've been winging it. So I took this business coach on and I worked with him for 2 years. And over the course of that 2 years, we put a business plan in place. We put the marketing strategies right. I got to understand gross profit, net profit, retained profit, balance sheets, break-even figures, overhead contributions. I got to understand and learn and know all about these numbers. We brought the right team in to run the right systems. And 2 years later, I've got a business that's making more net profit than I could imagine, and I'm working 1 day a week. I'd nailed it. I'd finally cracked it. But the only reason why I'd nailed it is because I got off my arse and I learned how to grow a proper business rather than winging it like I've been doing for them previous 12 years and making it up as I went along. Now, the story gets better for me because once I got my business to the point I got it to, I were approached by a main contractor that did more commercial work as opposed to domestic work. And they approached me and said, Craig, listen, we want to sort of like break into the domestic market. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to be competitors. You're coming from commercial into domestic and you're going to be competitors. Is that what you're saying? And they went, well, yeah, but we don't want to go up against you, Craig, because you absolutely dominate. You dominate Google, you dominate Bing, you're dominating YouTube, you're all over social media, you've got videos out there back in 2010, when in today's day and age, there are tradesmen out there that have got a 1080p resolution video in the pocket, i.e. the phone, and they're still not doing video marketing. I was doing this back in 2010. So they said to me, Craig, listen, we don't want to go up against you because we're miles behind you, but we've got a proposal for you. Okay, what's that proposal? Our proposal is we want to buy you out. Whoa, no way. It took me all these years to get to where I am. It's cost me my marriage. It's cost me everything. I finally got it to where I want it to be. I'm not selling the business. But the more I thought about it, and the more I spoke to Sarah, I remarried, got two more children. I've got 4 kids now. And I remarried. I said to Sarah, look, they want to buy us out, and this is how much they want to buy us out for. And Sarah said, you know what, Craig, sell it. Sell the business. Let's bank the money. Right, job done. So I sold my business lock, stock and barrel, setting me and my family up for life. And not just because of the money, but because of the time that I'd now gained. But more importantly, I'd not just gained money and time, I'd gained the knowledge on how to build, grow and scale businesses. Now, all of those brickies, scaffolders, sparkies, plumbers that took the piss out of me for having a business coach, all of a sudden, they changed the tune. And all of a sudden it were, Craig, how the hell have you done that? We remember you being that busy fool. You were the only one on the scaffolding at 7 o'clock at night with your light set up, still working. We remember you. How the hell have you got to where you've got to today? So, back in 2012, me and two friends of mine, Russell Whitaker from Whitaker's Decorating, you go and check him out on Instagram, and Andy Cam from Cozy Warm, and a few plumbing and heating engineers. You'll know Andy as I Love Plumbing. Well, Andy was my plumbing and heating engineer in my building company. And the three of us got together and we said, right, we're going to put an event on. And what we'll do is we'll invite all of the tradesmen and women that we know that have been asking, Craig, how have you done it? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start teaching you how we've done it for free in my spare time because I want to help. So back in March 2012, I hired a room in a backstreet working men's club in Sheffield called Davy Sports Club. And I hired this room, we put some pie and peas on, and we said, right, meet us at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, and I'm going to teach you exactly how we've done it. And we're going to start off with business planning and marketing strategy. So, me, Andy and Russell get the room set up. I'm absolutely terrified because I've never done anything like this before. And at 5 to 2, nobody had turned up. And I thought, well, that just about sums the trades construction mentality up, doesn't it? You put something on for free, put them some pie and peas on and nobody rocks up. But just as we said that, one van pulled into the car park. Then another, then another, then another. And 25 tradespeople came to that meeting on that Friday. I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew is I knew how to put business plans together and I knew how to market their businesses. So we spent 2 hours going through this strategy. And a week later, I got phone calls saying, Craig, can we do it again? We enjoyed it. We've been networking actually. And by us all coming together, I'm a plumber and I've got him with that builder. Now he's passing me work. So the networking side of it started. Fast forward another 2 years and I'd grown that group and I'd grown that particular business into the UK's largest monthly trades and construction networking, marketing and coaching event the UK had ever seen. And that business has continued to grow and grow and grow. And now we put in-person events on where hundreds of tradespeople come to our events. We put online events on, we put courses and programs on, and we've now become the largest trades construction organisation in the UK, helping and supporting tradesmen, contractors, construction companies, engineering companies, architects, structural engineers to scale their businesses. Now, along this journey, I've now stood on over 500 stages. Many of those stages are at my own events, and many are me speaking at other people's events. So I now get paid to speak at other people's events. I've stood on over 500 stages since 2012. I've coached and spoken and mentored over 30,000 business owners since 2012. I've won Yorkshire's Businessman of the Year by helping generate £54 million worth of sales for trades, construction, businesses over that time. I've now got 4 businesses myself, all in different areas and sectors, from coaching to a marketing agency to a logistics company and beyond. I now invest into businesses and I've become an investor into businesses. And through the Trades Freedom Club, I've now coached over 500 tradesmen and women to build, grow, and even scale and sell their businesses. So when I started off at the beginning of this episode saying, I believe that nobody should make the same classic mistakes that I've made and the classic mistakes that I see other people making. There's no need to make them mistakes. There's 3 things that you need. And if you can pull these 3 things together, I guarantee from these episodes or from one of my events or whatever you decide to get the knowledge from, I guarantee that if you put these 3 things together, you will generate more results than you thought ever imaginable. And these 3 things are what I've already alluded to. Number 1 is mindset. Because if you can start to surround yourself with a circle of influence and a circle of people that actually want to help you and lift you higher and are prepared to show you what they do in their businesses to help you, if you've got the right mindset and you surround yourself with the right people, that's number 1. Number 2 is you've got to motivate yourself to be able to take action. Because I know at first hand what it feels like to feel like my business were controlling me. You see, I'd become a prisoner in my own business. My business owned me, it owned my time, and it owned my relationships. What we've got to do is we've got to get motivated to be able to take some form of action. But that's difficult when you've fallen into a rut, when the shit's hit the fan, when something's happened to you personally, when life or business has thrown a curveball at you. Sometimes it knocks you to your knees. Listen, I've been on my knees. I know what it feels like. So to try and motivate yourself when your mindset and your energy is not in the right place can be difficult. But come on, there's only you that can motivate you. So number 2 is you've got to get motivated. And if we've got the right mindset and we've got motivation and positive energy, and we apply that to number 3, which is learning new knowledge, learning the new strategies from people that have been there, seen it, done it, got the t-shirt, got the results. When you go to someone like that and say, listen, I've got the right mindset, I'm motivated to holy hell, tell me what I need to do and I'll go away and do it. When you bolt knowledge on and you go and do those 3 things, I am telling you now, results will come. So ask yourself this question. Do you believe that you've got the right mindset? Have you got a growth mindset, or is everything doom and gloom? Are you hanging around with a circle of influence that's going to help you lift you higher? Come and hang around with me. Come and join our Facebook group and our free community on Facebook. It's Trades Freedom Club. Come and join it and surround yourself with tradespeople and construction business owners that are all in there helping each other, sharing best practice, telling each other and being open. I do this and it works. Go and try it. If you've got that and you're motivated to take that action, I will give you the knowledge to scale your business. So that is the reason why I believe I am the right person to help you. That is the reason why I said at the beginning of this podcast that you need to make your own mind up on whether you want to tune in each week. And if you do that, you will get results. Now, it won't happen overnight. It's not a magic wand. But over time, the compound effect, as I call it, kicks in. So little bits, little increments of action, all of a sudden compound, and then boom, you get a big result. And when you see that result happening, either in yourself personally or in your business, you want more. You want more. So that's what I wanted to share with you on this particular episode. On episode number 2, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 stages of business growth. And that all of you will go through stage 1, and many of you will get stuck in stage 2 and you'll never get out of it. And if you get stuck in stage 2, you will never reach stage 3, which is where I want to get you to. So please look out for our episode 2 called The 3 Stages of Business Growth. remember, you need a notepad, pen, tablet, something to make all these notes on. And then let's start to make that conditional shift in your behaviour so that you can improve the quality of you and your loved ones' lives. So, as I wrap up on episode number 1, I'm going to ask you, if you would please, to hit that follow button. Whatever you are listening to this podcast on, please hit the follow button so that you can follow this channel and you'll never miss another episode. I'd also encourage you to hit the share button. If you can hit the share button now and share this episode onto your social channels so we can get the word out as a community to help more people that need help for free to scale the businesses. So if you can hit the share button, I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to start to follow us on our social channels, the best channels to follow us on are our Facebook, Instagram and TikTok channels. And you can follow us all on @Trades Freedom Club. That's @Trades Freedom Club on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. So that brings me to the end of episode 1, the introduction to the Rise of the Trades podcast. And I think you can tell by the name, Rise of the Trades, this is now our time. People over all these years have put the construction industry and us trades down. You're not clever enough to do this. You're not clever enough to do that. You drop out, you just go and get a trade and all that lot. Well, listen, the tide is turning. It's time for the trades to rise up. We can build the life of our dreams. It sounds cheesy, sounds corny, but I've done it. And I'm coaching other people to do it, so I know it's possible. So this is all about rising up together, pulling a community together that wants to help and support each other. And from that point, it's the rise of the trades. So thank you so much for tuning into this first episode. I'm really excited to be catching up with you on our social platforms, and I look forward to delivering our next episode on the 3 stages of business growth. Thanks for listening.